Do I do research or do I buy what I can find? The answer is yes. I think it was the very beginning of August before I started purchasing car parts. I started doing the reselling stuff in July, but it's most of the stuff I have laying around, like Game Boys and stuff. But back to the question, the answer is yes. I mean, first time I went there with no tools, and I was just looking around for inventory. Because I'm a car guy, I kind of like thought I knew what was worth what, blah blah blah. But a lot of times, what I do is I go there, try to find newer cars that I haven't even picked through yet. Then I'll literally sit in the car and research really fast. If I say really fast, my wife would disagree with me. I'll research what I think will sell. So what I do, say it's a 2011 Hyundai Elantra or whatever, Sinatra or whatever. I'll sit in the car for a minute, see if there's parts on it, go to eBay, I'll type in what it is, 2011 Hyundai. Then I will filter by brand. A lot of times I'll filter by price. I put the minimum price $50 or $60. Then I will go down to the sold filter because I only want to see stuff that's sold. I'll scroll through. Lots of times there's thousands of listings. I'll scroll through a week's worth of listings and see what's selling in a week. A lot of times, especially if it's like a hybrid or something, units sell like crazy. Other than that, some of it's just like knowing what to grab. Like I try to focus on, but I do a little bit of everything. I try to focus on stuff that is necessary and material to the car. By that, I mean stuff that has to keep the car either operational or safe. So 8 units I've sold for very high profits, but they do move slower in my history. My number one sellers are always fuse boxes. I pulled GM truck fuse boxes, got to do your research. Anyway, they stopped getting cars like 14 and newer in my junkyard, so all my stuff's older. That's what I do. I research a little bit because my junkyard does not have a listing website or anything. It's literally a basic junkyard. All they have on their Facebook is just price sheets, and that's literally. I do have a junkyard that's an hour away that I've only been to one time. It has the price sheets and an inventory and stuff, and when the car came in, that would be super handy. But a lot of times, historically, you pay more at those places. But my recommendation is going with, stuff that you know. If you're a Honda guy, try looking at Honda stuff. A lot of times, though, the Honda stuff I found is like so mass-produced that a lot of it's not worth much. You want a combination of somewhat exclusivity with rarity, but there still has to be that need. So I also filter. Well, it's really starting narrowing down. I'm like, all right, it's Hyundai ABS unit. Seems like there's been a lot selling. Then I will go up to search instead of doing the 2011 Hyundai. I will search 2011 Hyundai ABS unit or ABS pump. I'll change those keywords around a little bit. Then I look at the sold listing versus what's listed. And this is how I get the rough estimate of so if you look it up, there's only been 27 sold, and usually that populates around the last 90 days on the sold listings. So only 27 sold, but there's 3,000 available. You take that 27 divided by that number, so the 3,000 many times it by 100, that's going to be like less than 1%, I think. That's just off the top of my head. It has a horrible sell-through rate. I won't hardly touch anything that's under 30%. I don't even like getting stuff that low. I always shoot for 50%. And sometimes if you find a really good item, you can get above 100%. So by over that, I mean, okay, there's 112 sold in the last 90 days, but only 67 listed right now. So that number is obviously bigger. So your sell-through rate's going to be, I don't know, off the top of my head, 140% or something. Those are the items you really want, especially if there's good profit in those. So that means there's a huge demand for those items. So that's how I get the sell-through rate and all that stuff. Sell-through rate's my number one thing. That's number two thing. First, I look at the profit. Then number two, I look at the sell-through rate. Because it's sitting on stale inventory, it don't matter if you're going to make $200 on this item if you have to sit on it for a year. I don't like my items sitting more than 15 or 20 days. Most of my stuff sells within that amount. Usually the only thing I have on my eBay right now that's older than that is clothes, because I find those sell horrible on eBay, and some undesirable games. That's the only thing I have that is older than 40 days. I might have a car part. I think I have a couple visors older than 40 days, but other than that, none of my car parts sit longer than a month. And then most of the stuff I'm paying $20 to $30 for. I think the most expensive thing I buy is $35. A fuse box with lids, $35. You just have to see what your minimum number is that you need to break your profit for whatever you want. To every rule, there's what is that saying? To every rule, there's an exception. There's an exception to every rule. That's what I was looking for. That's me. I look at sell-through rate, the amount that's for profit. I look at the sell-through rate, the profit, and the condition of the item. Those are the three big things when you're selling stuff. Also, because there's only 6 listings of that single item, that don't mean it's going to sell that great. If there's only 6 listed and only 12 sold, that's low competition, but it's also slow selling. So there's lots of stuff to go into this. It's really just trial in there. I mean, worst case, start with $100. Go and get you a wheelbarrow full of stuff. Like I said, I recommend stuff that's either safety related or keeping the car running related. So there's cosmetic stuff, headrests, visors, and stuff. They sell, but they sell way slower in my experience because it's not a necessity to keep the vehicle running. That's just my take. Take it for what it's worth.